Greetings, Kindred. I am Voivode Maquette, and welcome back to our world of darkness. This is the first one of these that we've had to do. This is the exit interview for Damian Hargrave.
Hargrave. Then became.
I always call you Hartwood because of Jasper.
I went Hargrave. I was just researching like English names.
That's a good one.
And Damian, I just picked it up because Damian Wayne.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
I was actually watching Batman the while
Damian. You named your character after the worst Robin.
I know.
Oh my god. Okay, so we lost Damian.
Yeah.
For those of you who have
not,
right? Yeah, for those of you who have not seen the last recap that came out last week, it
it went from 0 to 100 really quick.
Yeah. Did you expect Damian to die like that?
Not so quickly, and not by the skill I was about to buy.
Yeah, you know what? I'm really like we run on the otter system when it comes to like spending XP and stuff like that. A lot of the times, like I want to know what's on the player's character sheets, but like I'll admit that I'm busy as hell and I forget. I forget what's on the character sheets. I did not expect Fist of Cain to come flying out at your face.
Yeah, I was hoping to pass that check to at least like wake up and dodge a little bit, but
yeah. Well, you're getting staked at the same time.
I'd rather be staked than punched by Fist of Cain.
Yeah, well, that was like a half decapitation. So, how do you feel about dying?
I mean, I saw Damian / Axel dying eventually, but not this quickly and not this brutally.
A few of us are surprised that you survived as long as you did.
Right?
Yeah.
I've been telling you, I'm dying. I am dying. With all the stupid crap that Axel has done, he's dying.
Yeah. I try really hard as a storyteller not to kill my players. Like, I try so freaking hard.
Oh, I've seen you done your divine intervention.
I know. Well, I don't want the game to end.
Yeah.
B, I want everybody to have fun. I want a story being told. And, like, if you're constantly bringing in new characters, it's just a thing, you know?
Yeah.
Now, I'm only doing exit interviews for characters who actually die. Characters who are being shelved, I'm not doing exit interviews. Dawn is being shelved.
I heard, yeah.
And Sam is being removed from the game as well.
Really?
Yeah. So
to take no barbarian.
he wants to try something else. Daviga wants to try something else.
I showed him already. He's like, there's a way you can bring back Dr. North without playing Dr. North.
Oh my god, no. Dr. North. Oh my god.
I miss him. That character was amazing to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of the story that happened that led to his death though? Like
the main thing is I love the story how it actually turned out. Like you said, it wasn't a story gruesome. I'm like, I accepted it. It wasn't gonna get bad.
Yeah.
You're not pushed us to the limit. And the way you were doing it with Damian, like that was the way I was actually expecting it. Is like it was quote unquote being treated like trash. His opinion didn't matter that much. It was recommending stuff. For example, he's actually been recommending Tinia for Barons. Like you should be the Baron. You should be the Baron. When Prince Smith told her to appoint somebody as a ad representative for the Camarilla, I'm like, either you should do that, or if you want to spite him, send an ex-Sabat.
Yeah.
I'm like,
but
still, it turned out pretty.
Well, I mean, the way that you were treated by the coterie really did let me play with the whole concept of the way a cult gets under people's skin, manipulating and stuff like that. Really just use the fact that they don't treat you well to truly just...
It's the Sabat way to do it, yeah.
It really was, especially when you're dealing with a Path of Cathari.
Embrace vampirism, enjoy life.
Exactly. They're like, we're the only ones you can trust. You were bait.
I was bait. I was ready to join that pack and shelve him later if he actually survived.
Yeah. Well, the whole concept, okay, I don't want to kill my players. I I don't want to kill the players, but I do. When my NPCs want to do something and I'm playing that NPC, I do what that NPC wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pretend that I'm not that NPC. I try to make sure that I try to make sure that they have all of their capabilities set up ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't just like come up with something on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to use all of those capabilities that I gave them to try to fulfill their goal. And the original goal was just to come in and kill Sam and Dawn.
Yeah.
I wanted them dead.
Like, before that night ended, I was actually either killing Dawn or eating her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, same thing.
And that would have been fine. But then I realized how much more fulfilling it was to destroy their coterie utterly. Let them live.
I know.
But let them just make them completely... Just make it so that they can't trust anybody. And the moment that Sam ran... Mm-hmm. And Dawn found out that he ran. That destroyed the coterie. And look what happened. Sam's gone. Dawn's gone. They separate ways. Dust in the wind on that one. And then, I mean, we've got to change focus as far as the story goes.
You
right
broke
now.
Brittany's mind.
Brittany's broken, and I regret that because I love Brittany. Brittany is like my favorite NPC thing, and now I don't even know how I can use her. I know what she's doing. Right now, I know where she is.
You could always embrace her a Malkavian. That's a Malkavian.
I want to turn her into a Malkavian. You know, when back when the idea that Dawn was going to be a Setite, was going to be ministry member, I really considered having Brittany embraced ministry. She would have been fun as ministry, but I don't know. I just love the independent, strong human who's keeping herself together through all this stuff. So you burned your character sheet.
Yep. That's the usual ritual that we go to. You have to...
You know, the first time I ever burned a character sheet, which, by the way, I have a copy of Damian right here.
Yeah.
This was
I have one on the computer, too.
I have a copy of Damian right here. But the first time I ever burned a character sheet, it was because a player character had, like... He had done something that was basically just considered unethical in the game. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, I don't care. And I was like, well, if you don't care... yeah. And... I don't know how that turned into, let's burn our character sheets when we're done playing the character. That was not really meant to be the thing. But, oh my god, dude.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I saw the comment on the recap. I actually would love to see him come back as a
Wraith.
As a Wraith if we actually get the Wraith the Oblivion book. Or if somebody actually goes nuts enough to actually convince the Hekata to bring me back.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, is like you actually have to have a reason to be messed with by that one. And,
which vengeance is more than enough.
I mean, technically, that Sabbat pack has a Hekata. Requiem is a Hekata, and she could very well bring you back as a tool. But that's not fun to play. It's really not, because you can't
At that moment, you can go ahead and play him as an NPC.
Yeah. If that ever happened, but... Man, what kind of stuff do you want to say about Damian? Like, you've played him for such a long time.
Yeah, like it's the longest character I've ever played in Vampire the Masquerade, actually. Close to a year, like 3 months away.
Yeah. God damn.
He was a year old embraced, and he was close to a year of being played.
He's such a baby. That's so sad. But, like, if you stop and think, that really is the truth, especially when the Sabbat gets involved.
Yeah.
Vampires have incredibly short lives for creatures that are supposed to be immortal.
The main opinion that I have, like, the way that he died, it's like, 1, he got baited by Merrick. 2, he used a ritual that he didn't know he was Infernalist. He was given to him by Deacon before he left.
Yeah. Well, Deacon was walking the fine line of Infernalism the whole time.
He didn't know that.
I know. No, you were set up.
He's like, I don't know if he was actually intentionally set up by Deacon as a failsafe if he fucks up.
I don't think so. No, the original idea was the reason you were embraced in the story is that Merrick was trying to make it so that a group of unknown Lasombra can't come in to the city and like raise hell. They're like, okay, so we got Deacon. Deacon's a Lasombra anti-tribute. He's part of the Camarilla, so that's fine. But now all these other Lasombra are coming in. So if we get 2 that come in, that means, because the Chicago is like no more than 3 per city. So Merrick's idea was if 2 of them come in and go off and start planning like a Sabbat coup, like they're not really trying to join the camp, they're just trying to infiltrate or something like that.
Like a lot of people do.
Yeah, I mean that would be the smart thing to do.
Look at Murphy.
Look at Justin, yeah. But the idea that like how are we going to control that? It's like we can't. Okay, so let's just take our anti-tribute,
the population,
embrace another camera loyal Lasombra, which backfired completely. And then
he was trying to be camp, but he's like, yeah.
Yeah. And then if another Lasombra comes in, it's like, well, we've already got 2, so we can only have 1. It's not like that guy can go and plan a takeover. You know, like that was the whole idea was just to stop that from happening. But like, oh my god, yeah, Merrick set you up for the embrace, and then he did goat you on when he saw that things were getting bad.
Yep, like I said, after I got home, I sat down and like I processed every single action that I did. I'm like, I could have done so many other things, but when you're in the blitz of the moment and you have to make a quick decision, oof, that's when it gets you.
Yeah. I had actually decided that James Merrick had dementation years ago.
Really?
Yeah, before
I know he had mass domination.
Yeah, he has mass. He's like old. He was embraced a long time ago. He's like one of the closest things that you're going to get to an elder in V5. But yes, he does have mass manipulation, and I did make the choice to make him. He's an alley cat when it comes to feeding. He's an assault feeder. So potence was something he got, but dementation. I actually thought about that because there's a bloodline of the Ventru in Requiem, the Milkovians.
What are the odds?
I know. And the idea was like, what would he be like in Requiem and stuff like that. I thought about that a while ago, but then I just thought, like, why not? Let's just like that really does suit that character. He's nuts, but like he has a controlled chaos in the way that he is, and even Cole, Justin Murphy's player, was like, that's a dick move. I was like, what?
Yeah. The other thing is I didn't notice was Maestro was actually Noah.
Yeah.
I actually like Damian made him briefly, but he actually didn't get completely to know him.
Yeah.
You just saw him in a room. He's just like passed out.
Well, that was an Oblivion shade. That wasn't even really Noah.
Oh.
Yeah. Before we started doing the recap, there was a nudge in the direction that Sam and Dawn needed to go find their packmate or find their coterie mate that they had abandoned, and it was that was actually the cult of Shalim trying to push them into go get a Lasombra, so that they can learn the rituals to actually have a proper cult of Shalim thing going on here.
Nope.
And they just completely abandoned him and left him behind, and he never would have done it anyway. He was so not into the cult idea. Of course, now he's a freaking priest in the Sabbat, but that didn't work out too well. So, did you have any goals for Damian that you didn't get to accomplish?
You saw the main one, which even myself, I know it's going to be a long while. Probably like years if I actually managed to get that, which was princehood.
Oh, yeah, become a prince.
That was my, what do you call that? My...
That's the worst ambition.
Yeah.
That is. That was your ambition.
No, that was my ambition.
Yeah, princehood.
That was my ambition.
Oh, my God. That's such a bad idea. That's the worst. That is the worst. You actually have, now that I'm looking at your sheet, you had, like, the worst discipline tree ever. Not that it was bad, but like we ended up we were playing with Oblivion when it first came out, and we were like making it so that you could buy like Oblivion ceremonies and like buying Hecata Oblivion and stuff like that, and it was just, I don't know, it was all over the place. But like for the most part, you've got a pretty good looking Lasombra. Man.
Fun.
I know. I mean, I really just I don't know what to say. An exit interview for this.
I mean, I know what I'm planning to do with my next character, big time.
Okay. What are you bringing in? If you don't mind telling.
I don't mind. You're gonna see it anyway on the next recap.
In the recap, yeah.
I am bringing in the clan that we talked about in my first interview.
Your least favorite.
My least favorite clan, which it's the Malkavian.
Yeah.
I am bringing in a schizophrenic.
Okay.
That likes to sculpt and whistle a lot.
Sculpt and whistle. Interesting.
Nickname Smiles.
Smiles. All right. So we're going to be doing the Chicago Chronicles next. We found a way to wrap that in. That's all explained in the last recap that we did. But so is your character going to be from Chicago, or is he going to be one of the Anarch Tremere What? Or is he going to be one of the Anarch Malkavians from Portland who are coming over to do the classes?
I'm planning. So the way that little bit of his backstory, the way that he was embraced, he was a schizophrenic in a mental hospital. The head doctor, which he was attending, was actually a Malkavian that was feeding off him. It's just with the excuses like, oh, I need to do some blood tests. And in return, he actually had pretty good conversations with him and helped him out a little bit. The years passed because he came into the hospital when he was 12. And he gave him the offer is like, I know you seek freedom. I know a group that can allow you to gain that freedom. Will you join me?
Okay.
He doesn't remember how his embrace happened.
Oh, okay.
He went into he got tied up into a chair. An episode started happening. He doesn't remember a thing.
Okay. Okay. So does he have amnesia? Does he know he's a vampire?
He knows he's a vampire.
Okay.
He just doesn't know how he got embraced, or how if he's the person that said he's a sire is actually his sire.
Okay. Okay. Well,
he's definitely a Malkavian, and
that'll be interesting.
And I'm actually, I can actually make up a character sheet if you want to have a character sheet for the Sire as well, or you can come up with your own thing.
Oh yeah, no, I'll work on that later if you want your.
Well, he's definitely alive. He actually has discussions here and there, and he treats him like a child, even though he gave him the condition. He will be freed as soon as he finished, with the condition of finishing this college. Okay,
very cool. Yeah, because one of the main things that I'm really wanting to focus in on the Chicago Chronicle is the vampire school that they have going there that teaches
the fact that there's actually a school for vampires. Actually, I'm pretty intrigued about.
Yeah, I've been trying to find as much information as I can as possible. So far, all I know is that it's like a 5th generation Brujah who runs the thing.
Really?
It's the Brujah Primogen of Chicago.
Yeesh.
Yeah, so that's gonna be fun.
What clan was Prince Jackson?
Jackson is Loden's child. He's a Venture.
Huh. I just thought he was a Brujah for some reason.
No, he
looks like a Brujah. No joke.
He does have a good he has a street look to him, and I mean that's actually very. It's understandable due to the fact he's got such he's got criminal connections. The Bloods specifically, the gang, the Bloods that's his group. So it's going to be a massively different game in Chicago than in Portland.
Well, I'm ready for it.
The Camarilla is going to be a lot more strict. You're not dealing with an Anarch Prince.
Heck, he's the one that freaking gave the main vote to freaking get me blood hunting.
Yeah.
And almost killed Deacon.
Yeah, well, every once in a while one gets away.
More than once.
I'm looking forward to seeing how things are going to go. But this is going to be the first Malkavian that I've story told for in V5. So I'm interested to see how that's going to work. I love their compulsion and their bane and everything. It works.
The fact you have to choose a mental.
It doesn't really work like that anymore. And we're going to go over that tonight. We're going to go over throughout that tonight. But the fact that like they're just more cohesively a clan who have an issue, and it doesn't fully just tackle mental instability.
Mm-hmm.
I think that V5 is a lot more sensitive to those topics now, and I mean, as it is with a lot of topics, V5 is just a lot more. A lot more. I don't want to say politically correct because that's really not the way of putting it, but it's just more sensitive to topics that were just blatantly thrown out there in the past. Like, it doesn't just go Malkavians are nuts. It's not about that. It's about them knowing more than they can actually express. So
because
that's
the voices.
Yeah, well, not just the voices, just like not just their aspects, but their natural psychic abilities is very interesting, and the fact that the Antediluvian of Clan Malkavian seems to be the network that keeps them together. It's more complete with like lore sheets like the Cobweb and stuff like that.
Telepathy is Auspex, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you get Auspex, Dominate, and Obfuscate.
Yeah.
And then we get to play with Demontation, which is going to be a lot of fun. Demontation is it's a lot more broad than it looks. It's one level, but other levels of Dominate heighten lower levels of Dominate. Therefore, where you've got Demontation, if you get Mass Manipulation, it's Mass Demontation.
Okay.
You get Rationalize, you get people doing crazy stuff that you're making them do, but they think it's their own idea. Like, it's stuff that you can actually mess with. It's pretty cool.
Question. Like, I've actually been this is one of the two characters that I put the most work into, like reading. How does Terminal Decree work? Because it doesn't give you a check, but it tells you to check on in some specific role, but it doesn't. I'll try to look into.
Oh, okay. Terminal Decree works off of other levels of Dominate.
Okay.
And what it does is it makes it so that if you told them to do something that would be physically, mentally, or socially damaging to them, even up to the point where it could kill them, they'll still do it.
Okay.
So they still have a chance to
resist
to resist it because it's something that could actually harm them. But for the most part, they'll do pretty much anything you say.
Okay.
That's God level.
The main thing that I was looking for is like, is there a way to because there's Ghost in the Machine, then before I read Ghost in the Machine, my train of thought is like, oh my god, I can dominate people just by looking at me through a video. I'm like, no. I sat down and read it. It's like you just become invisible to cameras.
Yeah. The Obfuscate is not going to help you dominate.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, I've actually searched through and through for that in the book, and the only way that I can actually do that is with telepathy. Yeah.
Well, we will go through all that piece by piece. Your character will, we'll get him all fleshed out, make sure he's ready to go. He'll be introduced. I have a really good idea for the opening scene to start this game off in, because there's some pretty interesting things going on in Chicago, and it's storylines that we can actually just jump into the middle of, and have you guys learn a lot about Chicago while we're doing it.
Okay.
So, because there's actually interesting Elysium rules and stuff like that you have to follow. So, it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. It's a big book to go over.
Heck. I haven't tried. I tried to not read every single story of the books. I haven't read Chicago yet.
Good.
I mean, like, the main thing that I read about Chicago, it's just like the disciplines for the Lasombra because of Damian.
This story actually heavily focuses on. I'm really glad we don't have any Lasombra players right now, because the storyline focuses primarily on the Lasombra trying to join the Camarilla. So now we can actually jump into that and find out how that's going to go in our canon, in our personal canon, because this story can make or break whether or not the Lasombra actually join.
Crossing
crossing fingers for what?
Yes.
Yes. Make them completely available. Oh my god.
No, it's like either option. I'm okay with it, but you can still be. I don't know if you actually would approve of that again. Is like just be an anti-tribute.
Well, I mean, I'm never gonna say that anti-tribute cannot exist. But as it is, the Lasombra and the Sabbat are now considering themselves anti-tribute. Because they don't want to... The reasoning is they don't want to give any they don't want to give any respect to their antediluvian.
Okay.
Why are they going to go by the name of their clan founder if they hate them so much?
Do they actually have a brand new name if they're thinking of?
Just anti-tribute. They're just the Lasombra anti-tribute.
Okay.
But the fact is, if you're Sabbat, you don't go by your clan at all.
Okay. Yeah,
there's
don't matter.
There's the rare occasion that you're gonna say, hey, what was your sire or something like that. And at that point, they'd be like, oh, well, I'm a Lasombra anti-tribute because because even Lasita is considered Lasombra anti-tribute, and she's like one of the big. I don't know if she's alive, man. It just jumps all over the damn place. Whether she's alive or not, she's the Archbishop of Madrid.
Okay.
So
yeah, we haven't been to Europe only once. It was a chaos.
Oh my God, London.
All of London was chaos. I like the ending. I actually enjoyed the way that you ended it. Thank you. The fact that you made him, you made a sleeper agents blew my mind.
I didn't know how to get you guys out with what I was doing because I knew I wanted to kill you.
Mm-hmm. I know for a fact that we're not going to continue playing these characters for long. Yeah. Eventually, we're going to go back to our own.
But I let you guys keep the XP. So
XP and access to one of their disciplines.
Yeah, true. So,
which I didn't pick up any. I'm sad.
We got Malkavian now. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait to see what you do in this game. This is going to be interesting.
I've been watching a lot of the Joker.
Yeah. Don't be a fish milk.
No.
Don't be a fish milk.
No, I just I'm looking, for example, when it comes to Mark Hamill, the way that he does the Joker, it's the perfect Joker, in my opinion. Him and tied with, what's the name of the actor that died?
Heath Ledger.
Yes. Yeah. His and Mark Hamill's Joker, in my opinion, are the top two. With the guy from Suicide Squad.
Jared Leto?
I did not enjoy his Joker. I enjoyed some of his quotes, mainly.
You know what? I'll give you that. He did have some very good quotes. His cameo at the end of the Snyder Cut Justice League movie was Joker. Yeah. That actually reminded me a lot of the... have you ever read The Last Night on Earth?
Last Night on Earth. I think the last one I read was Metal and The White Knight.
Okay. Last Night on Earth is a post-apocalyptic Batman.
Oh.
It's amazing, great twist ending. It's good. It's ridiculous, but it's good. But it's literally Batman wandering through the deserts of the destroyed world with Joker's still living head in a jar as his only companion.
That must be freaking...
And that's it's really kind of what it felt like when watching the post-credit scene from the Snyder Cut, because it was just everything was post-apocalyptic, the world was all messed up and destroyed and stuff, but he still had the Joker with him. Mm-hmm. And it was still just oh god, if you weren't the only one here, I'd freaking kill you, kind of thing. Even Batman was I'm just done with this guy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know, it felt like that. And I accept that Jared Leto's Joker.
Yeah.
But the Suicide Squad and yeah,
there was only a few quotes that I actually enjoyed.
Yeah.
His actual acting that made him look more like a gangster than a psychopath. Well,
it really felt like they were doing the whole there's multiple Jokers thing. I really wish they would have.
They were doing with
the Omega Chair storyline. We're getting into DC geekery, so sorry about that.
I did not enjoy that story that much, actually.
But I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're gonna do because you have avoided playing Malkavian for so long.
Yeah, since I started playing.
Yeah.
Never.
I think it's something that you can get into. Just don't focus on the fact that you're playing Malkavian. Just focus on your character.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people who play Malkavian do, is they just go, well, my character has this debilitating issue, so I'm just going to only play that debilitating issue. And I'm like, well, you're ruining the character.
No, you're a person. You just play that person.
Yeah.
And from time to time, you actually get your ticks going. That's probably a Malkavian.
Well, I mean, the derangement issue is going to happen primarily when you suffer from panic,
yeah.
and when your compulsion comes out and things like that. Those are really when you're going to lose yourself to that kind of stuff.
Demontation actually brings out the compulsion, right?
Demontation brings out the compulsion of other vampires.
Okay.
Which is a really fun thing to play with.
I experienced that firsthand.
Yes.
But no, the funny thing is, like, the way that I had planned for that scene to go was mainly trying to inflict as much damage as I could to Merrick. If I killed him, that's a bonus. Then
Merrick doesn't fight much, but when he does,
run.
That is
I saw him do the
something
earth shock. Heck.
Oh, he had no intention on hitting you.
Oh.
Merrick did not want to lay a finger on you. His intention was to get everybody out alive, if possible. But one of the best ways to do that was to cause
chaos,
a Lasombra to frenzy. That was just the best thing that he could think of doing. Probably the worst idea he possibly could have. But he did consider, like, if I could just get you to cause enough problems, maybe we can cause some chaos to get out, if possible. Punching Billy Smith in the back of the head was not good.
Nah. I was actually thinking about, say, involving Tinia in the matter. Yo, Tinia, can you take care of your brother, please?
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with this crap. I'm too busy right now. Well, that would actually set him off.
You can't talk to the prince like that.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not a fucking Camarilla anymore. Deal with it. You threw me out. You got me blown.
Oh my god, he was trying so hard to keep the Camarilla layer active. You know, he was trying his hardest to remain prince in that chaotic situation. And then you punched him, and he's like, oh.
Are we doing this? I did love the line that you said. It was like, I will punch you so hard.
I'm going to punch you. I'm going to punch you so hard, you're going to look like Damian again.
I love that line. That was like the best line you have ever heard so far.
I love that character. I do. Billy Smith has always been one of my favorite NPCs, and he's just... I don't know. He's just he's a very interesting character, and nobody expects him to be who he is. It
surprised me for the first scene of the restaurant. That completely surprised me.
Yeah.
I know it was like out of character, me watching the whole thing, but still, like, that, like, change of attitude. What?
Really pushing through that family means everything to him. That's really the most important thing. And the reason he wants to be prince so badly is because he can make things safer for his people. So...
Oh, funny thing is, you never specified one thing. What happened to the center shot? He's like, he's under the floor. He's like, what?
I actually have to run a scene with Justin.
Really?
Justin Murphy, to see who can get to him first.
Oh, the Packer him?
Merrick's not going to let anything happen.
Aww.
Merrick's not going to let anything happen. That little Toreador is going to go right up to him and start trying to do something, and Merrick's just going to be like, nope, you just go over here. He's not gonna allow anything to happen. That's his broodmate. He hates him, but like, it's one of those. That's my brother. You can't hit my brother. I hit my brother. You know, only I can hit my brother. So
biggest regret that I have with Damian is I couldn't kill freaking Anna Roma.
Yeah,
that was my biggest regret.
Dude, I really just did not expect Anna Roma to survive that whole thing. But, like, everything just went downhill so quickly. Which, in a situation where you're dealing with a Sabbat pack that's out for blood, it really shouldn't be a long, drawn-out thing. It really just needs to be, like, a Mack truck, you know? Like, that whole thing happened in 2 nights.
Hit hard, hit fast?
Yeah. No, that whole thing happened in 1 night.
Yeah.
It was 1 night of a Sabbat attack, and I caused so much trouble. I derailed the Camarilla. We blew up a hospital.
Killed 50 people.
Well, that was the night before.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that was New Year's Eve when that happened. They did that on New Year's Eve while everybody else was fighting at the warehouse for, you know, when you missed the big fight. You went there instead. So that's New Year's Eve. And then when the bodies were taken by the authorities to the hospital, Noah rode in a body bag to the hospital. He's just like, I'm going to lay down right here, and they're going to pack me up and take me right where I want to go. And I had actually talked with Cole about that whole thing ahead of time.
Cole's gameplay was like stupendous. I have never seen a player play so well both sides.
Yeah.
Like, I can see the experience, like, veteran. Like,
Cole's been playing for a very, very long time. So, yeah, it's been... it's really interesting to have them back, because Cole was my first storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
And they know Sabat. Now, unfortunately, they know old Sabat.
Oof. And
the pack is very much new Sabat, and they don't really like Justin that much. They don't, because Justin wants to find a place and settle and go. They want to plant their Sabat flag.
Mm-hmm.
But Sabat don't do that anymore. I think we handled it best last game session when I was like, yeah, we're going to come in here, we're going to clear the board, move on. Mm-hmm. And then good if the Camarilla comes back, because that means we can come back and wreck you again. Because the idea is just like, the more you take over a city, the more we already know the ins and outs of it, the more we can come in and rip you apart.
It's like you're playing Risk with a board.
Pretty much. The idea is to just make sure that the antediluvians don't have any power. So it's better if the vampires don't have a place that's just theirs.
Is it just because the Sabat actually getting low in numbers, or?
Oh yeah, Sabat are massively low in numbers. First off, yes. Plus half of them are still overseas fighting in the Gehenna War. But just the idea, like the Sabat ideal of being nomadic and moving on and taking on the next thing is big to them. And truthfully, Glad, I mean, like I told you guys before, last game, like I do not want to run a Sabat game right now. I don't have time because I have to come up with a new city every time you wreck a city. Like, you guys have to move on, do the next thing. There is no, we're going to make a pack haven and stuff like that. No. What we're going to do
I miss the old Sabat now.
is get some ready for retirement elder, let him stay there with one other dude, and go, call us if you need us, and just leave, and that's it. Bishops. They're worthless. They can't fight anymore, so they're going to stay here. I mean, there are Sabat that still like to settle down and stuff, but like that's just not what the Sabat are about.
Mm-hmm.
So, running Sabat is not like I want to run a Sabat game.
Yeah.
For like a month. I want to run like a 4, maybe up to 6, no more than 6 session game, where I just like from embrace to death.
Make shovelheads.
The short, violent life of shovelheads. That's all I want to do, is show everybody how to do that. But I also want to walk you guys through the hard parts about playing Sabat, because there are some sensitive issues. It's a violent game. Mm-hmm. It's a dirty game when it comes to that.
It depends as well, like which path they would decide to go on as well.
Yeah.
Like Cathari, it's still to me like standard Sabat.
Cathari is probably the closest thing to standard Sabat that we're used to.
Path of Cain, it's interesting. Path of Death.
Death in the Soul.
Yeah, that one is a little bit complicated.
Death in the Soul is very interesting. It's very much they're barking. No. Death in the Soul is very much we need to study death. The idea is to survive, to be there at the end. And when I mean the end, I mean be the last things alive in the world. So that's a long game right there. But
yeah, that's a good sit down, and you gotta analyze.
But it's study death. It's study death in all of its everythings. Power in the inner voice.
Path of the Sun is really interesting.
Path of the Sun is fun.
Like that one would actually give me a reason to try a Thin Blood.
Yeah.
Especially with since you can actually become yourself a solar battery.
Yeah.
I like that, right? It's actually not
the whole bring the power of the sun into yourself and then use it to.
You become a lantern.
That's so messed up.
And the fact you actually get damaged by it, and you actually
mummy powers. Those are mummy powers.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Star body.
I never got to actually read about the mummies, and
I don't know.
I know, like, one of our old players, Vil, was actually playing one.
Vil was obsessed with Mummy. Yeah, Vil, we consider him the antediluvian of our players. He's the guy who actually, from what I understand, brought Vampire the Masquerade to Fort Myers. He's the one who first, like, started getting people interested in playing and everything. He came from Chicago.
Really?
Nonetheless, from what I understand. And, of course, he comes in, it's a Modern Knights game, and he's like, I'm a Cappadocian. God, you suck. And then, yeah, he really did get really big into... he really got big into the Mummy and stuff like that as he went. But Bill's also the kind of person... He's the guy that says, can I play a 4th gen? And I go, sure. Because he's not going to do anything with it. He's responsible. It's not that he doesn't play. It's that he plays a curious elder who sits down, watches the neonates run around doing their thing, sits around, talks about the good old days, and furthers the plot through speech. He will have enough stuff on his character to kill you by looking at you, but he won't use it.
I think he almost did the first time I started playing.
Yeah, but you've really got to get on his bad side. Like, he's just not the kind of person.
He just made me walk across the room and sideways. I'm like...
Yeah. He's the kind of person you can trust when it comes to the game itself. And yeah,
the one game I would have loved to see him play on, it's when I heard a story from him when he played an Ananasi pretending to be a vampire.
Oh, did he do that? I don't know.
Apparently, I don't know. Like, I don't know if you were actually in that game. Or...
I know another guy who did that, but I don't know about Bill doing that.
Yeah, apparently he was playing an I don't know if he said he was playing it. It was an Ananasi that pretending to be a vampire, killing vampires and collecting them.
Interesting. That sounds very much like another guy who played an Ananasi named Isaac, and that was pretty much. I've only run into one Ananasi since I started playing.
I only played Ananasi once.
Yeah, they're interesting. I mean, it's vampire shifters. That's it. You're just a spider changeling.
I got my head torn up like a Shadow Lord.
Oh, werewolves. Anyway. All right, so is there anything else you want to say about Damian?
He will be missed.
He will be missed. He will be missed. That is true. There's no more saying, damn it, Damian. Well, that's not true. The sheriff of Chicago's name is Damian.
Really?
So we might be able to keep the damn it, Damian thing going.
You remind me of a Damian. He didn't survive much.
Where's my money, Damian?
Oh, God.
Anyway.
You're making me want to watch that again. Stop it.
Maybe we will. We got a lot of stuff to do tonight. We got to do a lot of auditing to do tonight. Tonight's game night, but we got to go over character sheets and stuff like that. I baked Chicago.
3 new character sheets.
I baked Chicago deep dish pizza.
Because
yes,
you had me on mozzarella. Once you say mozzarella, you had me there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we have dinner with the game before game actually starts, and I try to do some themed stuff, like when we did the Giovanni dinner, we did the Hikata dinner, we just did like pasta and salads and stuff.
Oh, your pasta's freaking delicious.
Thank you. It's because I make my sauce from scratch. Such as everything in there, I made from scratch. Except for the cheese. I don't make my own cheese.
Stuff made out of scratch actually tastes way better than the actual.
Well, yeah, it's got real food. Tonight we are having. I made 2 Chicago deep dish pizzas that are 12 inches in diameter, like that big. They're huge. I make them with cake. I make them with cake springform pans. They're huge.
You make it sound like it's like a freaking lasagna. That's what you make it sound like.
It actually has the same thing. It's like a casserole. It's not even a real. Like, oh my god, the freaking drama between whether or not Chicago deep dish is actually pizza. It is pizza. It's made for the hardy people of Chicago who can withstand the harsh winds of the winter. Not for the New Yorkers who just need to eat it and go. They're always in a hurry.
Oh,
no, it's really I make the pizzas like whenever we do, like, that's my fallback for game. Is like, I'm just gonna make a pizza. I'm just gonna make these huge pieces every single time. But this time, put some work into it.
The funny thing is the Cuban pizzas actually.
I love Cuban.
They're smaller, like a little bit smaller than the medium size for Domino's. and they're a little bit thicker, but they're so
They
fluffy.
got so much flavor. So much flavor. Okay,
It's like that.
we're talking about pizza. We gotta stop. We're gonna eat dinner soon. Anyway, alright, well, yes, Damian is going to be missed. Not by many people, but a few.
Shedding a tear for
We're gonna one single tear. But we'll see how your Malkavian does, and hopefully we won't have to do another exit interview anytime soon.
Crossing fingers.
Crossing fingers, yes. So, I am Voivode Maquette.
I'm David Gonzalez.
And this is our World of Darkness, and
Yeah.
Alright, have a nice night, guys.
Have a good one.
Bye.